Hey, this is Evan with Mellie, formerly Simple Cell Central Florida. In the last couple of months, we've begun to tr- rebranding from rename to Mellie. Um, and what we're going to do for first couple of minutes here is just um, discuss what the difference between Mellie and Simple Cell Central Florida and why we transition to a different name. First off, this is the monthly Q&A. This is our August Q&A. We do these once a month to answer common questions that we see with clients that we work with. So the reason for our transition is first off, we believe that our branding wasn't quite as strong, and for various trademark reasons, we thought changing to a more original name was very important for the long term for the company. And the way we came up with the name was Mellie is short for ameliorate, which means to make better, make something better. So in this situation, we work hard to make a bad situation better. We take a property with um, liens, probates, distress, and excessive repairs, and things of that nature, and make those situations better. So we thought Mellie was a good name that represented something very important to what we do. Um, so yeah, I guess that's kind of it. And in the next few questions here, we'll go over um, a little more about Mellie in the transition. Um, First question is, I tried handling my probate and it's gotten too tough. Can Mellie help me? So, what I always recommend is to hire an attorney, an experienced attorney that you trust, because they're going to be able to help you through the probate process. I've seen people try to do it themselves, and I don't think I've ever seen one where someone's done it themselves successfully and everything works out. Um, it can be a complicated process. You can try to educate yourself online, but there's um, conflicting information, and the information may vary from municipality to municipality. So you have to be very careful. You can actually have a probate go through, but then you're not able to sell the house. So what that means is maybe a judge says that you have the rights to the house, but then you go try to sell it, and the title company says, "Well, actually, this paper or that paper wasn't filed, and for those reasons, we're not going to accept this because we think it's a risk, and we're not going to. The title company is not going to insure this policy, which means essentially you're not going to be given clear title." So ultimately, what that means is you can't sell the house to 99.9% of people just because the title isn't clear. So what we do in those situations is we will get our attorney involved to help you out and help you through the situation, um, and get you back on the right track. I think the reason people try to do probates themselves is because they think they're going to save $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, but what ultimately ends up happening is they end up still paying that money and wasting a lot of their time and getting themselves into a difficult situation with uh, the courts because things haven't been filed properly, and the attorney has to go back and refile, straighten everything up. So we can definitely help you through that. We've fixed those types of situations before. And then just to go into some questions about um, what is Mellie. So briefly already hit this. Mellie is essentially the same as very similar to what Simple Sale Central Florida was, but there's a few key changes. The key changes being we're not only advertising ourselves as a home buyer, but we're a home buyer, a brokerage, and a consultant. So we will definitely help you with your situation, and we may possibly buy the house, help you with your situation, and we'll broker the house for you so you get top dollar for it, or we can just help you with your situation. And if it's something that requires more than an initial phone call, then we would ask for compensation to help you through that situation if you want to handle it yourself. So just being a consultant. And what we've really done is we've looked at previous deals that we've worked on over the past couple of years, and some of the key themes are working with people that have probates, working with people that have liens on their property, working with people that have code violations, and working with people that have title issues. Those are really the main people that we end up working with. We used to advertise ourselves just strictly as a home buyer, and we would do some brokerage stuff as well. But now what we've realized is we do a lot of home buying and brokering, depending on the person's situation. And most of those people fall into those four categories almost every time. Yeah, the house may have excessive repairs, but a lot of times what comes with that is code violations, or what comes with that is a lien or probate or something of that nature. So we've really just trying to brand ourselves differently in the sense of this is our niche, this is what we're focusing on, and this is the type of people we can help out. Not to say we can't help other situations, but a lot of our situations fall into those categories. What's different about Mellie? So I would say the real difference is we just have an extreme focus on those four or so categories: liens, probates, code violations, title issues. That's really our focus, and what we promise along with that is that we're very transparent and accountable, and we can help someone through almost any situation. Almost, yeah, most situations we can help get the person out of. There are extreme situations I've seen, rarely where we can't, but in almost all situations we can. Next question, how can you help me? So if you fall into one of those situations, let's say, for example, probate, we can help you through that probate. We can refer you to our attorney, and he will help you through your situation. And at the same time, we can evaluate your home and say, hey, we can give you this as an offer as a home buyer, but we could also market your house at the same time and get you maybe 10% more, 20% more, 30% more, because your property isn't in bad shape. It just has these legal difficulties that we have to get you through. Or if you have a lien or code violation or just some crazy title issue that we need to work through, we can begin working through those issues and at the same time say, okay, we can offer you this amount, but it looks like you could probably get a mortgage on the house, which means you can have a retail buyer buy the property in net, 20% more money. Now, if it's a situation where you have a lien and there's a ton of repairs needed for the property, then we're probably going to be your best fit for just buying the property outright as a home buyer. So just giving the client a lot of options and making sure that they get through their situation. So how does Mellie work? So how we structured it is what you'll do when you want to reach out, you can go to our website, melliehomes.com, and insert your address. And then on the website, you can learn more about the company. But you insert your address, and after you insert your address, you'll put in your contact info, first name, last name, email, phone number, and that's just to give us the ability to reach out to you. And then you'll answer a few questions just about your house, and then we'll reach out within a few minutes to discuss your property with you, and see what's going on with it. And in that initial consultation, we'll say, well, this is what's going on with your property. Let us consider it, and then we'll get back with you. Or, okay, I understand what's going on here. Let's, I think this would be the best route for you. Maybe fix the probate, list your property, and we think you can get this amount for it, and we'd love to help you do that, or things of that nature. So really just having that initial consultation and reaching out. And then also you can always call us directly. We have a phone number on our website, on our Facebook, LinkedIn, that you can reach out and call us, and we can talk with you. So essentially just figuring out what your situation is, considering it, and then suggesting the best route for you, and what working with us would be like, and how we can help. Are there any charges for working with you? No, there aren't any charges. So what will typically happen is just having that initial phone consultation, and we can do email or text as well, but a lot of times it's much easier to do a phone call. And having that initial talk, and understanding what's going on, and saying, well, it looks like, we should probably make you an offer on your property, and then clear up the liens, and then close. There's no charges associated with that. Now, if you want to just use this as a consultant, and we need to dedicate several hours to understanding your situation, helping you through it, then there would be a consultation. But initial calls are not anything that you would be charged for. I found out I have a lien on my home. What is a lien? So essentially, a lien is just someone or a company that has essentially put on the title of the property that money, or I guess in most all scenarios, money is owed to a certain person or entity. So let's say someone put a roof on your house. If they put a roof on your house and you didn't pay them, and let's say it was $8,000, then they would put a lien on your property and say, you never paid us for the $8,000 roof that we put on your house. And that lien would remain until you wanted to sell the property. And then at that point, you would try to negotiate the lien or pay the lien in full. And there's a process, you have to go through to get the lien paid for, and make sure everything's correct. And that can take some time in some scenarios, but it's essentially just hindering you from selling the property, because if you sell it for $100,000 and the roof is $8,000, you're going to net $92,000 before you can sell that property free and clear. So how can I sell my house with a lien on it? So we have bought houses before that have current liens on them. We'll take the liens and what's called a hold harmless, and just say, yes, we know the house has liens on it, and we know that's a title issue, but we will still close on it. And we would just have to evaluate your situation and see if that's something that would work for us. But most all other buyers will not close with a lien on the property. Most all. I don't know of many that do. But we have in the past, and we would definitely consider any situations that may have a lien on the property. So, next question. can I sell a house before probate? So, assuming that there is a probate needed on the property, which a lot of times people don't even know if they need one or not. Selling a house before probate is, I mean, it's technically impossible. Or sorry, it's technically possible. But what ends up happening is, let's say you sell it to someone, you're not selling it with clear title. You're just essentially you're selling them your interest in the property, and no one has proved. Let's say you're an heir. No one has proved that you actually own the property yet. The judge hasn't determined that yes, you're one of the heirs or you're the only heir. So essentially, you're selling them your interest, and then you still have to go prove that that is the case. So it's technically possible. I've never seen it, just because it's so risky. Because you may be buying a property. Like if I were to purchase a property from you for $100,000, buy your interest, but it isn't a clear title, and I know there's a probate that needs to be done, but it hasn't been done. And then I say, okay, I own this property. Now I have to go clear up this title. I mean, I guess I could approach the courts and say, hey, I own this property. There needs to be a probate done. I paid my attorney to figure out and bring the correct documentation. What we could end up finding out is that there's more heirs, there's more people involved, there's people that actually own the house that we didn't know about, and it could be a huge mess. And I could end up losing all that money, possibly. So, yeah. So selling a house before probate isn't technically possible. For 99.99% of people, you're never going to be able to sell it. But what you should do is get the house into the probate process, and then you can actually go under contract in the probate or before probate, and someone like Mellie can help you pay for that probate actually, and get you going. And as soon as the judge determines that these 1, 2, 3, 10 people are the heirs, then at that point you can close on the property and sell it. Can you sell a house that's not up to code? Yeah, you can definitely sell a house that's not up to code, that has code violations, stop work orders, whatever, things of that nature. We've bought houses like that before. It's typically, it could be a non-issue for a lot of buyers. Most buyers will buy a property that's not up to code, assuming it's not some crazy situation. But it's definitely not an issue to sell a house like that. Okay, any other questions? I don't think there's any other questions. No questions here, but as always, thank you for listening to this. And we are now Mellie. You can reach us at melliehomes.com. You can give us a call, 407-338-4183. And there, when you get on the call, what will happen is a member of our team phone answering service will essentially ask you a few questions, walk you through the process, and then that information will then be evaluated, and we will let you know what steps we think you should take. So it's a very simple process. All right. Well, as always, thank you very much, Mellie, homebuyer brokerage consultant, focusing on liens, probates, code violations, and title issues. We're here to help. All right. Thanks, guys.